Hey beautiful, welcome to the tutorial where I'm going to teach you about contouring, foundation, blush, and all that fun stuff for your face. Now as you can see, I have lips on, I have my shadow and my lashes on. I did those in another tutorial, so make sure that you are getting access to that and checking it out. But I am going to, like I said, give you some tips on that contouring and how to make sure that we are creating the depth in your face versus just having the one whitewash or just the one level of a face, because that depth and those shadows and the coloring that happens with that, that's where we really get to see the beautiful features that are on your face. So as you can see, no foundation or anything like that. I have, however, I've already put on obviously my moisturizer and my primer, which primer is something that I didn't use even just a few years ago, but actually found that it really helps. So this primer, I've used a few different ones, and this one I'm really liking. It's the MAC primer. It's the MAC Mineralize, and it's a time check lotion. And so like I said, I've already put that on. You can do it with sorry, I'm looking for the brush that I use. There we go. You can put it on with your fingers, or I tend to actually use just a skinnier, thinner brush that you just squirt right on, and then I add it to my face and then let it dry. So that's why I've already added it, or already have applied it so that it's nice and dry on my face. It fills in pores, fills in wrinkles, and then what it does is it just creates that palette for foundation and concealer and all that stuff to stay. So I found that I'm not touching up my makeup as much, and by any means, and actually when I use primer, the right good quality makeup, and then and the right brushes to apply it, and then use the setting powder, then what I actually find is that I don't even have to touch it up all day. I can just do it once in the morning, and I am just out and about and doing my whatever it is that I'm doing, and it's just on and it stays. No touch up, no wasting time for any of that stuff. So taking a little bit more time to do a couple more steps in your routine, like a primer and a finishing spray, can really help you save time the rest of the day. So one thing I just actually started using, and I'll show you, like I said, so I start with that primer, the lotion, and the moisturizing lotion and primer. And then one thing I've been playing around with are some of these color correcting things. So this one's from NYX. I have another one that I've been playing with. I think it's probably just upstairs in my bathroom. But what these colors actually do is they correct different imperfections in your skin. So the green corrects any redness, the peach corrects dark circles, yellow I forget what yellow corrects because I don't think it works with my palette. Purple brings up any places that you want to illuminate or highlight. Then that's for contouring, and then that's a concealer. So I'm going to show you guys what I've been playing around with. So I'm just going to use a couple of these just little brushes, and excuse me, I used them earlier this morning and I didn't wash them out, which is kind of gross, but wash your brushes. But again, I just actually did them like an hour ago and then washed my face off so I could do this tutorial. So I'm going to start with the green on one side on this little sponge, and just to kind of get rid of any little red areas. And it's going to look kind of weird because it's going to be this different almost underlying color, but then you'll see. So then I'm going to use, I'm going to use my purple one and add in where I want to make sure to highlight. So that's typically like the tops of the cheeks, going up in through like just that highlighter line, again with the purple. And this, like what I've noticed is it just brightens up the face and corrects any color. And this doesn't have to be perfect by any means. Kind of go in on that upper nose area and then that forehead area. And there we go. Next one, I'm going to now use the peach to go under my eyes and correct those dark circles that I have. Not only am I a mom, but I'm actually part Finnish. My family's from Finland, as well as a few other things, but dark circles are actually, and thin under eye is actually characteristic of that nationality, and so is white skin. But I'm also part Italian, so I tan really well in the summer. Random side note. So using that peach to then correct those under eyes, and anything with that pink undertone is actually what corrects the color of the brown. So something to know. So again, this looks really weird. I'm sure it does. I'm gonna just use a little bit of concealer and a couple little spots I want to either have smoothed out or blemished out. Okay, so this looks really weird, I'm sure of it, but don't worry. What we use next is, whether it's a liquid foundation or a cream foundation, I've got a couple favorites. I have been using Araza Natural Beauty. It's like 99% like paleo and organic friendly. I've got a couple different colors, but it's a coconut cream foundation. And oh my gosh, you guys, it's amazing. I love it, love it, love it. Another one that I started playing around with was the Revlon Color Stay. I like that one too. But I tend to get a couple different colors, kind of a lighter and then a darker tone, so that I can either highlight lighter in the areas that I want and then darker in the areas that I want, or if I've gotten a tan or whatever it might be. If I'm doing a photo shoot or up on stage, you tend to want a little bit darker of a shade so that your face isn't washed out. So now I'm going to use my Araza, and this is a little bit of a darker shade. So I'm just using my sponge brush here and getting some of that luscious cream coconut foundation and setting it into the skin. So now this is where, and I'm not using a ton. I actually really like this foundation because it is just, it's kind of just a medium, it has a good medium coverage, but it doesn't feel heavy at all. And I'm just setting it into the skin with that sponge. And so what this does is it just creates that nice little clean palette on the face so that you can start to give it the colors and the contouring that you want. And again, it gets blended in down the chin. You guys never thought you would see these angles of me, huh? Onto the forehead. So again, this just kind of gives it, like if you were thinking about painting a canvas, the liquid foundation or the cream foundation, like I said, I like to use the Araza cream foundation. It just gives not only something for the powder foundation to stick to, but finding one that isn't cakey. Like I hate cakey makeup. Like I said, this cream foundation feels light, fluffy, not sticky, and it's good for your skin because your skin is actually the largest organ that you have, and anything that you put on it is absorbed within 7 minutes into your liver. And so as you can see, that's important because there's lots of chemicals and stuff in a lot of makeup. Now, not all of my stuff is organic, but I play around with stuff, and when I find something that I love, especially when it's organic and healthy for you, like Araza, I stick with it. Okay, so just a light, so now, as you can see, so we had those weird colors at first, and then I did the foundation, just that light cream foundation, just to give it that nice blank palette. So next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a couple different contouring things that I have. One of them I just started playing around with. It's the CoverGirl True Blend and the NYX Wonder Stick. And the NYX Wonder Stick, I like it because it's got like this nice little dark, and then the highlighter on the other side. But what I tend to do is, I'll show you what I do when I'm contouring, is I take a thicker, or just kind of it's one of those skinnier brushes. I don't even know what they're called because this is how much I don't study my brushes. But I'm going to use the CoverGirl, and I'm going to use this darker shade. I'm going to go on either side of it. And then what we want to do for contouring, and like I said, this is what gives your face the shadow and the depth. And once you get the hang of this, you can do it really, really quick, but it also just makes your makeup, it just dials things up that extra notch. You don't have to use as much bronzer, and it just really highlights and accentuates those parts of your faces that you want highlighted and accentuated. So even though I don't have, like I said, it was just that neutral thing, you can just see it naturally in the lighting. Here's a line. Here's a line. So we want to use those natural lines. I just want to accentuate them. So otherwise it just looks like just a flat, no depth to the face at all. And especially in photos, if you're in a meeting or just out and about or up on stage, that can get washed out. So again, I'm using that middle contouring with the CoverGirl True Blend contour palette, using that skinnier brush. And then I want to go right from, I'm going to kind of find my cheekbone and go right underneath it. So here is where I'm going to make my line, and it goes right to my face, right to the side of my lip right here. So this is the line that I'm going to use when I am contouring. I'm going to give it just a nice little line, and that creates that depth that we're looking for, or that shadow effect, right? So giving it a little bit more, pulling in that line. And another shadow effect, or another place that we want to accentuate, is the shadow that's naturally created on the nose. And what this actually does is, some people are like, I don't want my nose to be accentuated. But what this can do is it can make your face, again, have some of that depth instead of just a big white blank canvas. So a little bit more. I'm going to go now into this side. In the bridge of the nose, and as you can see, it's starting to give my face some of that shape that we're looking for, or just some of that depth and some of that more than just a blank palette. So next, I'm going to accentuate or contour underneath here with the jawline and the jawbone. Blend it down. This was a fun little trick that I learned. Right underneath the lip. Gives you a nice little shadow under the lip. And it gives the illusion that your lips are bigger. And then one more area is right up here, the hairline. And then blending that down to meet. And that gives a nice illusion of fullness in your hair. And again, just go a little under the cheeks if you want to give those a shadow. So as you can see, you can already start to see the difference in how my face is looking as we give it that depth. Then we also want to make sure that we're highlighting the right areas too. So highlighter. So this one is actually it's a Maybelline Instant Age Rewind. It's got a nice little sponge at the top. So I'm going to go right on the bridge of the nose, bring it up onto the forehead, dab a little bit under the eyes, and pull Make a little triangle here. A little right there to accentuate. And then this is actually a secret that I made up. And I'm sure some other awesome makeup artists do it as well. But what it is it really just helps define this area. So I actually take a little bit of highlighter and I put it underneath the contour that I just did. So you might think this looks weird. It kind of does, but I'm going to take another nice little skinny concealer brush and just start to kind of blend in those areas. Here gives that nice little pop in the upper lip. Patting in, which again we had the color correcting there. So just a little highlighting, and then we want to highlight those right through here when we smile. So that's why I put some of that lighter color on there. Highlighting the bridge of the nose, and you can actually make your nose will appear shorter or longer or fatter or skinnier, just depending on what you do with your highlights. And then again, in through here, this little secret, just to have that jawbone at the back of it pop. But then what it does, like I said, look at the difference there. It just makes that contour line really nice and defined. Okay. So we're starting to see some depth and shape to the face now, which is what's really fun. So next, now this is one of my favorite secrets. I'm looking for my brush, but I'm going back to now my mineral foundation, my powder foundation, so that we can set all of this in, and then we just have a couple more steps. So back to now again, the Araza Natural Beauty mineral foundation. Love, love, love it. Great staying power. Doesn't look heavy or doesn't feel or look heavy, and it's again natural. So I'm going to use just a nice little fluffy shadow brush. I'm just going to dab in here, and this is actually one of the best secrets. Is so if you've ever struggled with mascara like dripping or falling or just like getting right here, take your foundation, take your mineral powder, put it on your brush, and set now your foundation or set your concealer with the powder, and that will prevent that. You're welcome. You will never have to struggle with that again. Now for me, when I tend to do my makeup, I do my eyes first, and then I do my face, and then my lips. So like I said, I'm a little out of order since I already have my lips on, but that was in another tutorial. Now I have been playing around. So next, to set the foundation, I have been playing around with a couple different things because I was tan and now I'm not anymore, and I'll probably get tan again because I think we're going to Mexico soon, so I need to at least get a little bit of a base. But a nice little, it's a little bit tighter of a brush, and so what this does is it holds the color in. And I've been playing around with kind of a darker color with the NYX actually, and it's a Stay Matte but not flat. And so I dab a little bit in there, tap it off, and I'm kind of adding some depth with a little bit of powder as well. And so I'm going in some of those areas that I want darker, which is typically, so the areas that you want light are here and here. So almost that T-zone. And then the other areas you want to be a little bit darker. So I'm doing a little bit of that darker color by the forehead, kind of those same areas that I was contouring and making darker. And then just setting it in. What I found is that setting with a little bit of blending versus like big blending circles all around with the brush, it just really sets it into your face so that it stays. And then I'm going to go back to my lighter color, my Araza, my mineral foundation, and then go in through those areas. And there's still a little bit of the darker color that's on here, so it'll actually blend in nicely. But setting in now that mineral foundation into those other areas. All right, so powder is set, contouring is there, and I'm just gonna add a little bit of bronzer, a little bit of blush, my setting powder, and spray. So next what I have is the bronzing thing that I've actually been using and really liking for a while. It's Physicians Formula, and this one's the Warm Nude palette, but it actually just comes like already intact with lots of different shades that you just go right down your face. So I'm gonna go get the skinny little brush that it comes with, go on the darkest side lightly, right in that same contouring line. I'll just blend these through. Oh, here it is. Take my towel, give it a little brush, go to that second and middle color, go right above it. So this kind of naturally just provides that natural gradient, and there is a little bit of a rose, like a blush, which I really like, and blushes are really fun. Take the towel, so as you can see, it starts to give it that nice little gradient, and then we go to the highlighter. This one's actually almost out, so I'm going to show you another highlighter that I have. So it's a nice highlighter that just highlights the tops and gives it just that nice little glow. So that's what I do there. I'm going to show you. So color-wise, for now, my blush, I'm going to play around with a couple different ones, and one of them, it's a secret, it's actually an eyeshadow that I got from MAC, which I really liked it. So nice little blush brush here, fluffy. This is actually an eyeshadow, and I'm just going to give it a little swirl and tap and set that color right in between, so it'll blend a little bit up to where you were putting the highlighter, but then you don't want it to go beyond, like down further than. See the color there? You don't want it to go down below the contour line that you made. This just gives your face a little life, which I love. Kind of feel I'm going to use this one other little color just to add to it. So this is actually a Neutrogena. It's a healthy skin blush. I just liked the color of it, so just a little tap just to brighten it up just a tad. There we go. And I'm going to go back to that one secret that I was telling you about. So remember this that I just really want to make sure to pop it. All right, I'm just going to blend these in just a tad with that foundation brush. So I'm going to take that same brush, that concealer brush that I was using, and again, just sharpen up that line. I didn't even put any other more product on it. It's still just the product that is on there that I haven't washed off yet. But just sharpens up that line just a tad more. And it gives that really nice definition for those cheekbones. Blending just a tad. Right. One other thing. Thinking. Oh yeah. Where is it? Okay, so this is a really fun tip, and I want to make sure I have the right brush for it as well. So one other thing that can really make, especially your eyes pop, is a white. And this is just a natural eye light by Physicians Formula, and I'm taking just a nice little skinny, a pointy brush here, just fluffy, to go right in between, just to highlight the eyes and the eye ducts. And this really does, so just a little tap. It just brings that light right to the eyes. Accentuates the eyes, brings in, it naturally reflects the light, so it's a really fun one to use. And then just a little bit of highlighter here, and the bridge of the nose. Okay, so last thing, and this is an important step that I actually didn't think that I needed before, but love it now that I use it. And it's the setting powder and the setting spray. So this one is the MAC Prep and Prime, and I guess you can put it on before as a prep, but I use it as the primer. So this is the finishing powder that gives a nice little airbrush look. So I'm using a big nice fluffy brush and tapping it in just a little bit, swirling it around, tap, 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 and then giving my face the final brush. This gives it that airbrush look. Putting the lid back on. And then last step, and this is what is going to set your face so you don't even have to touch it again for the rest of the day, is the setting powder, or excuse me, the setting spray. So that was the setting powder. Now I just lock it in with the spray. This one's the NYX Dewy Finish, which I really like. I tried a few other ones. This one's about finished, so I might just try some other ones. So I cover my hair typically, spray, let it set in and dry. And my hair is looking good too, you guys. So here you have it. Like I said, I've already done my lips, so at this point, after I've already done my eyes, then I would do my face, then I would do my lips, but they're already on from another tutorial. So, and I'm sure you can play around with your lips the way that you like to play around with them, but I'm gonna give you some other really great tips for your lips in the other tutorial, so make sure to check it out. But again, there's your contouring. So as you can see, compared to the blank canvas that we started off with, the face now has depth and life and color and a really great glow. So I hope that this helps, and again, this will stay on all day no matter what it is that I'm doing, and it just helps me feel more confident. I get a lot more compliments just on my makeup, and it makes me, again, the contouring. So I feel a lot better when I show up as the best version of myself and highlight and accentuate my best features. So I hope that you guys have enjoyed this. Again, if you have any questions, please let me know. I am here to, like I said, like I've always said, to help empower and inspire and educate you to be your most beautiful self inside and out. Make it a great day, you guys.